Hey everybody, it's Maha here coming to you from lockdown in New South Wales, a regional area. And I'm coming to do my reading of my book, Dance of the Womb. And last week I read a chapter, the first chapter of my book, Amina, my grandmother, and the domes. So I thought that I would continue reading. So we'll just see if anyone is around. I love reading, and I really enjoyed writing this beautiful award-winning book when my boys were little. And it was a great honour to release it in 2008. And it is an ancient, timeless, world first book on belly dance for pregnancy and birth. So I thought today I would read the next chapter to you all, which is actually the introduction to the book. And remember, if you want the book as hard copy or as an ebook, it's on my website, mahalmusa.com. And what I've done with this book is I've interweaved my personal story through the movements of the belly dance birth to make it more intimate and interesting and more human, and with that heart engaged, rather than just a dry book on birthing. Even though it's got, the physiology and all of those parts of birthing in the book, it also has my story woven through it. And if those of you who don't know, I'm of Palestinian Lebanese origin. So the first chapter was a dedication to my Palestinian grandmother who gave birth to 9 babies in our birthing house. So the introduction, and it starts as the dance of the womb, the same dance that we have all moved to at least once in our lives, somewhere, sometime. By utilizing the movements of the belly dance for birth in its most potent form as an aid toward conscious childbirth, we are giving women a divine and gracious gift. As I have integrated my personal identity, Eastern roots, with my Western experience, I wish to reveal the ancient art of belly dance in this very same duality. Much of my knowledge has emerged from personal experience, some channeled from the inner depths of my ancestral past, and some research from books, internet, articles, and by talking to a diverse range of women from both Middle Eastern and Western backgrounds. I would like to pay particular credit to some of the following non-Arab women pioneers in this field, and I am sure there have been many others. Firstly, to Morocco, a dancer from the Casbah dance experience, who has had more than 42 years experience in the belly dance world, which would now be more than 50 years. Morocco has extensively studied all aspects of oriental dance, including the birth dance, and has written some great articles. She has graciously shared her knowledge with the world, and I thank her for that. For those who've joined, I'm reading from my award-winning book, Dance of the Womb. The first video made on this subject was by Gabi Madashna Overdring from Freiburg, Germany. She did a lot of research and study before making her comprehensive guide to belly dance in pregnancy, as well as Susan McNeil before her, and I thank them both warmly. I also appreciate the information gathered on belly dance historically and into the modern day by a wonderful author, Wendy Buonventura, whose many books clearly highlight her cultural understanding and depth of this art form. Also, dancer Delilah has posted much information on her work on her website, including an article entitled A Labour of Love, as well as the midwife Kathy Moore, who we spoke together many years ago, and she has worked with many pregnant women promoting the benefits of belly dance as a prenatal exercise. I also want you to know that when I say belly dance, in many ways it's oriental dance for birth. But belly dance I used more as a marketing tool or term. And, in some ways, maybe that was the wrong word to use, oriental dance, which comes more from my cultural roots. But I love the way belly dance birth kind of moved together. So, we still call my work belly dance birth, but it's expanded into embody birth. And I have noticed over the last few years, many more articles, DVDs, and information have become available that have highlighted the growing interest in belly dance for birth since I began facilitating classes many years ago. Reading testimonials from mothers themselves who have used the belly dance movements in pregnancy and labour is positively showing that its roots are spreading across the globe, inspiring many, many women. Now remember, I released this in 2008, so we're talking, 13 years ago. So it has really grown since then. And my primary aim is not to argue the origins of belly dance for birth from a historical viewpoint, nor am I attempting to simply detail exact technical instruction of the dance. My greatest interest has come from the perspective of personal realization and wisdom gained from blossoming into a mother and instinctively connecting to my primal memory and cultural identity through my association with the birth dance and its expansive rhythm. And as some of you may know, Dr. Michel Odon actually endorsed my book, and that was one of the things that he said in his endorsement, which was a beautiful endorsement about how I have been able to connect the movements of the belly dance, oriental dance, with the primal aspect of the brain that needs to be activated for birthing. And we learn a lot more about that in my Embody Birth certification training, so you really understand the connection of the dance and birth. So I see the dance as cultivating multi-dimensional layers of awareness that impact on and affect a woman's emotional, physical, and spiritual journey. As the belly dance has often been construed as having sexual appeal alone, I don't believe this image has done it justice. My wonderful Egyptian friend Faiza, who grew up in Cairo, and you can read her story in my book, it's called The Last Dance, explains some significant facts about what belly dancing represented in both the past and now in Egyptian culture. In summary, she explained to me that the dance was rejected in Egypt because it came from the Turks or the Ottoman Empire, who ruled Egypt for 300 years. And secondly, that it was also linked to prostitution because it was a means for women from poorer families to earn a living. She further explained that today in modern Egypt, many of the great belly dancers have fought long and hard to establish the foundations of the belly dance as a respectful art form, which should be protected by law, and that the knowledge of the dance has been preserved in a Cairo school for belly dancers. This broader base knowledge allows us to view the dance as part of a cultural need and hence a life necessity, overshadowing the underworld connotations, which we know are not from the matriarch or the feminine way of seeing and viewing the dance. So no need to go into the patriarch there. In contemporary life here in the West, we have seen the explosion in popularity of Middle Eastern dance or Oriental dance. It has touched the lives of many women, regardless of their cultural background, in so many positive ways. Still, it was not until I personally was exposed to the dance in my cultural homeland, or close to my cultural Palestinian Lebanese homeland, but when I was in Jordan at the age of 21, that I began to understand my true blood relationship to the dance. For me, there was something particularly special to feel the dance in its authentic cultural domain. The contact that I experienced from my relatives and other Arab women largely planted the seed to see the more important aspects of the dance. It somehow seemed to bear the fruit of a sensual sense of spiritual belonging. The dance meeting the dancer, pulsing to a fine connective tune, released from structure and embracing all. The influence has stayed close to my heart and further flourished in my own pregnancy and birthing journey. And so, in the delicate arena of pregnancy and birth, I witnessed the holistic nature of the dance, utilized by women to assist them in revealing the truths in relationship to their mothering journey, before, during, and after the act of giving birth. In my experience, these revelations allow my own personal experience to be explored, and I came to understand that the divine moment of now has immense power, especially the now in birth. Reflected within this deep pool of sacredness, I realized my perfection as a strong and capable birthing woman. For those who've just joined, I am reading from my award-winning world-first book on belly dance for birth, Dance of the Womb, which you can purchase on my website as a hard copy like this or as an ebook. It is a beautiful, beautiful book that has underpinned all of my work in embodied birth and belly dance birth for the last 25 years. And don't forget, if you want to come and do my certification training to become an embodied birth educator and teach the philosophy and teach the dance of belly dance birth, get in touch for the next certification in October in English. So I have been particularly fortunate to experience, or I was particularly fortunate to experience, the transition into motherhood in a very, very special place in Australia, Byron Bay, referred to by our Indigenous people as a fertile meeting place. This area promotes positive birthing, informed choice, as well as aware birthing mothers, with many, many midwives supporting both home and water birth. And I'm talking way back in the mid-90s when I first came to Byron Bay, into the early 2000s, maybe into the mid-2000s, up to about 2010, when the promotion and support of home birth, water birth, lotus birth, conscious birth, freedom to birth, the way you choose, was the way in which I got to choose my children. And I was very fortunate to be able to apprentice with home birth midwives and receive amazing training with them in Byron Bay. So our pregnancy support group, we had a beautiful pregnancy support group, and I taught in that for nearly 20 years, and it was attended by hundreds of women and men and little children and babies each week, and it's still going now in Mullumbimby. It's more than 35 years on. It's incredible. I think it started in the late 80s. Incredible group. And there it was always honest, informative, inviting, empowering and supportive to all in attendance, and encouraging women to find the voice of birth within, the mother's voice, the maternal voice. And that's where my work was seeded, or one of the places besides my cultural roots. And through this group, this pregnancy group, I was encouraged to probe deeper into my attitudes around pregnancy and birth, expanding my knowledge and awareness by learning to be informed, to balance information between the heart, the head, the womb, the knowing, the maternal lineage. It wasn't just one narrative. My environment felt like a warm extended family, and I will be forever grateful to have been part of this vibrant birthing community. Just as importantly, the affirmation of my status as woman and mother was acknowledged and entrusted to me in reflection with the great ocean and the lush mountain terrain enveloping this paradise. And it is within this encouraging network of women that the unveiling of my personal story and creative fountain through dance and writing began to flow. And so as I document aspects of my life journey, blending the emotional, the physical, the spiritual benefits of belly dance birth, I would in turn hope to inspire all women to take a closer look at their own mothering journey and feel ready to bear the layers of her story. The intense level of feelings and thoughts that arm you in the wake can also be surprising. But by taking a deep and honest look into our lives, into all the shadows and colours and shapes, we can truly begin to understand what has influenced and informed our belief systems, values and personality over the years. And I go in depth in this in my online embodied birth preparation program, really looking at our beliefs. Where did we get them from? How did we cultivate them? Do they serve us? So by stripping down to the rawness of our deepest subconscious and connecting to the feminine principle, we can begin to let go of restrictive baggage. But this doesn't mean we're in a state of denial. No, it implies with total acceptance we accept who we are and where we are at in the journey. In our quest for a blessed life, we can be free to greet our mothering nature with open arms, instinctively opening the door to our love and our fears, while never denying our femininity and who we are at our core. So, that is part of this introduction to my book, Dance of the Womb, award-winning book on oriental dance. And I say touch, explore, and enter this domain through story, song, dance, and ultimately birth. I feel eternally grateful that I've had the experience of giving birth totally informed and have further been able to reap the benefits of my cultural dance, the belly dance birth, oriental dance, and share with so many women, now 25 years of sharing, the beauty and joy that the dance represents. And I hope that the positive aspects of my pregnancy, birthing, and mothering journey will excite other women and inspire other women to see the possibility of transformation in amongst the horror stories that we so often hear. On the other hand, I don't wish to negate or sugarcoat the challenging, and sometimes this is a challenging experience, emotionally, physically, psychically, energetically challenging, of giving birth, or the difficulty in accepting a birth experience that has been traumatic. And I work with many women counselling online, in person, telling the birth story and working through what has happened to them and alchemizing that as best that we can to be able to honour the process and the journey and find the gifts in that without denying the sorrow and the that trauma that has happened to us. So I encourage women to I strongly hope to convey a faith in women to be informed from birthing from within and seeking out truthful birth dialogue from as many sources as possible, as today there is so much information out there. If the feeling you encounter from the advice you see, hear, read, or listen to does not resonate with you, with your truly open self, or pulls you away from your intuition, keep searching until you find a deeper point of connection that supports your feelings, your voice, your choice. And there are mentors out there like myself. We are here for you. I'm 59 in a couple of weeks, and I am entering now that more of the elder wisdom. I am like a tree standing rooted in the earth, and I am here to be near to hear your heart. Don't ever forget that. We are here. I want to pass my knowledge to you. So don't ever forget, in all of this abundance of information, both the wealth of intrinsic knowledge and innate biological birthing information that is stored within the exquisite recesses of your female primal brain, ready to be utilized when birth begins or labor begins. Finally, if you are moved to take positive, affirming action toward your pregnancy journey through reading this book, Dance of the Womb, I will be overjoyed. It only requires the first step, and that is courage. And you can begin to dance to the rhythm of the music as you give birth to the rhythm of your body and to the rhythm of life. So that was lovely. Thank you to all of you who have joined and the lovely comments as I have been reading from my award-winning book, Dance of the Womb. And you can get in touch with me anytime, any questions. If you want to purchase the book, Dance of the Womb, if you want to do my certification program to become an embodied birth educator and carry the heart and spirit and soul of birth forward in the world. And so all women can be birthing in their freedom, raising children in their freedom, in their own voice, their own choice, connecting to that instinctive knowing, that the world is trying to, and I'm not going to even say slowly, is trying to rapidly escalate the severing of our wisdom. Nobody can take that from you. We hand it over, but it can't be taken from you. Yeah? Stay close to your heart knowing, and that is in all aspects of life, not just when we birth and become a mother, but for our children as well, because they are the legacy of what we leave to the world, and that consciousness that we bring to the experience of birthing and mothering and parenting, and to the fathers too, to support us and to be together in our truth and not have that disconnected. We are seeing mothers and fathers disconnecting very easily and very quickly. And as many of you know, as I talk about, when we birth through the physiological channels and the gateways of physiological birth consciousness, we affirm what we know. We feel in the body. We get out of our heads, we come down into the body, and then we can come back to rationalize and to think clearly. We can't think clearly if we are outside of our body, yeah, connected to our babies, deeply, skin to skin, yeah. Mother Nature, that mammalian blueprint, has given you everything that you need. So I want you to come home to that. And if I can help you, I am here for you. So until next time, I'll come back and read another chapter from my book, Dance of the Womb. I wish you all a beautiful, beautiful day, and sending love. And as we say in Embody Birth, Namaste. Lots of love. Ciao.